You're being broadcast right now. Watch what you say.
Yeah. Are we live?
Mm-hmm. Is Nat watching?
I hope she's watching.
Say hello to Nat then.
Hello, Nat. I hope you're watching. Here. Yes. It's wonderful. So we will be able to access this at another time?
I think so. I'm not really sure. I'm just holding
that
it.
information right now. So all of our viewers.
Yes, they can get a copy of it by mailing $20 to.
They got it. Shot it. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're supposed to take it down. Yeah. I don't wear these things.
Broadcasting right now. Live. Yes.
Hello, everybody.
I think we're starting soon, We're starting soon if you want to say.
No, I'm
oh, you're walking somewhere. Okay. Was Mom supposed to wait back here too? Okay.
Where's she?
She went to the room. That's why I got confused.
So pretty. I just want to ruin the rhythm of the whole situation.
What? I had a... Did Kristen give you the ring? Yeah. Unless I fell out of my pocket. I keep getting scared that there's like going to be some hole in the pocket. It's going to fall through the deck or something.
A little pretzel. Your banana box.
Wow.
Come out.
That's crazy. It's been sunny like...
Hey. Fine, I'll make for better pictures. No high spots.
Get the iPad down.
It's streaming. You're live on the internet.
Yay, I got a smile.
Oh yeah, that's a beautiful one.
It's gone.
Thank you. I'll suck you anymore.
I like this song.
It's good. I keep thinking I'd be in some hot tropical country, and then I'm like, oh wait, it's fall. And I was like,
Dance for the camera.
What's the audience? Does it say? How many people?
It says 17 viewers.
There are 17 people. See?
But no one said anything yet.
Oh, the social screen's an act.
Do I have to activate it?
Every time Lenny goes quiet, I'm like, oh no.
I know.
There's 19 viewers.
Dearly beloved, We are gathered here today, the family and friends of Kristen Drumheller Schaefer and Jeremy Ernest Mikola Bailey, gathered as people have done for millennia, to witness and bless the love and vows of these two whom we love, to celebrate with joy and gladness everything their love means in their lives and ours, and to pledge our deepest support, not just for today, but for all the days and years to come. I welcome you all to this solemn and joyous occasion. It is solemn because today Kristen and Jeremy will enter into a new kind of relationship with a new commitment to love, cherish, and support one another, and they will make some very serious and public promises in this regard. And it is joyous because we are celebrating and sharing in the love of Kristen and Jeremy, and we know that what is reaped is what is sown. And today, Kristen and Jeremy will sow the most precious and hopeful seeds of all. It is also joyous because they do this amidst community. A host of family and friends are here today to give Kristen and Jeremy love and support, not just today, but throughout their lives. And now, at the portal of this covenant, let's take a moment to settle our minds and spirits and focus on Kristen and Jeremy right here, right now. We have traveled from all over the world, some of us. We've planned and flown and driven and planed and deplaned and decarred and unpacked and rushed and scurried just to be here. But now, let's take a breath and dwell in silence for just a moment on the love of Kristen and Jeremy and what is about to happen. You can each do this in your own way for just a few moments. And so it is with joy that we gather in this time and place around these two whom we love. Now, Kristen and Jeremy, Kristen's brother Eric, has chosen some words that he would like to share with us to start off this occasion.
When Kristen and Jeremy met, she was a student at the Slade School at University College London, and he was living and working in Toronto, Ontario. Their lives were 3,554 miles apart. 3,554 miles apart, 5,720 kilometers. As a meditation on the distance that marked the beginning of Kristen and Jeremy's relationship, I'd like to read a couple of passages from Diane Ackerman's The Moon by Whale Light, in which the author goes out in search of whale songs and tries to understand their meaning. The blue whale makes loud, low-frequency sounds that can travel enormous distances. The ocean transmits sounds in strange and unlikely ways. There's a layer of water, known as the deep sound channel, in which sound waves can be tracked and spread great distances because they bend back into the channel over and over without losing much energy. Under those circumstances, whale sound can travel as much as 500 miles before blending back into background noise. These days, the oceans are polluted by human sounds. But in the tens of millions of years before the advent of ships, whale sounds might have traveled out to distances of several thousand miles, so the two whales could have sat on opposite sides of the same ocean and been in contact with each other. Those would not have had to be complex conversations. It would not have been chit-chat either, but simple exchanges of information about where food could be found. The songs are set to the rhythm of swells in the oceans. If you listen to whales when you are being born on the sea, you can feel the rate between the swells that are coming by. What an extraordinary, compelling experience this is. You never tire of it. The ocean is the greatest of all echo chambers. There's nothing like it on land. And when you listen over a pair of headphones to whales under perfect recording conditions in deep ocean, it's really as though you were listening from within the Horsehead Nebula, or some other galactic space that is otherworldly, not part of anything you know. There is something astronomical about the distance that separated Kristen and Jeremy during the first year of their relationship. The distance between the Sun and the Earth is about 12,000 times the diameter of the Earth, whereas the distance between Kristen and Jeremy was about 19,000 times the diameter of Jeremy's head. And yet they were able to call out to each other. Like like those blue whales of the past who told each other about krill and squids across 5,720 kilometers of ocean and land and Great Lake. Perhaps it's that peculiar echo chamber of the Atlantic Ocean that strengthened, built up, and crystallized their love. Staying together across that distance requires such a strong connection. I remember asking Jeremy once, when he was kindly putting me up on one of my grad school visits, how he and Kristen were able to maintain a relationship across that kind of distance. His response, as far as I can remember it, was that you just have to do something sweet for each other every day. Of course, now they're on the same continent. No more need for sending their whale songs across the ocean. But when they started, they were like two whales on opposite shores, making these simple exchanges. And I don't mean to call you fat, I'm sorry. But they were, just calling out to each other across the ocean, saying I love you, and talking about krill.
Kristen and Jeremy, marriage is the most serious commitment, believe it or not, that we humans can make to one another. It is a relationship, a covenant, a contract to be entered into thoughtfully, reverently, with gratitude for the past and hope for the future. I now invite you to affirm your covenant with one another. Jeremy, do you take Kristen to be your wedded wife? Do you promise to care for her in good times and bad, whether rich or poor, in sickness and in health, trusting your covenant to bind you in love and mutual faithfulness as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Kristen, do you take Jeremy to be your wedded husband? Do you promise to care for him in good times and bad, whether rich or poor, in sickness and in health, trusting your covenant to bind you in love and mutual faithfulness as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Families, you who are the families of Kristen and Jeremy, cherished father and mother, sisters, brothers, grandparents, aunts and uncles, you are especially blessed on this occasion, for as families you have shared times of joy and sadness with Kristen and Jeremy through the years. Most of all, you've given them deep knowledge of the love of family, which can carry into their own relationship. And now, as their relationship with each other and with you changes on this day, do you offer your blessing and promise of love to support them through all that is ahead? If so, say, we do.
We do.
And to the friends, you are the friends of Kristen and Jeremy. You've known them from before they met and since they have fallen in love. And whether in times of carousing play or the tender quiet of conversation, whether you've been friends for a long time or a short time, as family friends, schoolmates, or just fellow travelers, you've been present in their lives. They're grateful for your friendship in the past. And will you now support or promise to be their companions and advocates in the future, offering them love, support, and wisdom when asked? Whether you are near or in distant places. If so, say we will.
We will.
Very good. And now, Kristen and Jeremy, Jeremy's sister, Natasha, has chosen her own words that she would like to share with us.
Sorry. Bear with me, it's not long, it's just I need to see it. Some of you might not know, but I stand here knowing both Jeremy and Kristen before they met. I don't mean to boast, but I like to think I played a bit of a role in the circumstances of this union. That is why I'm honored here for both of you. I'm honored to be here for both of you. Growing up in a family of 5 kids isn't easy. Competition for food is fierce, and the desire to be in the spotlight even more so. But I can't imagine growing up with anyone other than my brothers and sisters. We have a bond that I like to think is unique. When my oldest brother Kristen and my only big sister Samantha moved off to university, Jeremy, Sean, and I ran the roost. And when I say ran, I mean sat. Because rather than climb 20-foot trees and play competitive sports, which Kristen and Samantha spent their time doing, we were happy building massive Lego cities, bonfires, tree forts, ice rinks, creating mini-putt courses, playing board games, soon to become computer games, soon to become video games. I have watched Jeremy's interests shape him into the talented, bright, accomplished man he is today. Our connection runs deeper than DNA. I am proud and happy to say that Jeremy and my siblings are my best friends. And even though when Jeremy and Sean invented tunes that rhymed tash with rash and trash, I now strangely cherish it and hold it close to my heart. As the youngest, it was my duty to want to be just like my older siblings, but it has always been Jeremy that I've sought to impress. My respect for him cannot be spared. We both breathe for the arts and our hearts beat for the arts. And I look up to him for approval, guidance, and support. I was okay next to him. I'm sorry. Okay. I first met Kristen in 2009 in London, England. She was starting her master's degree while I was ending mine. We found ourselves in a one-year overlap that I wish had been two. When we first met, we found ourselves sharing a love for art, science, family, fruity beer, cookies, the list goes on, peanut butter, antiques, cider, animals, and with a bit of coaxing, mulled wine. Kristen is one of those people who will never judge you and whom you can call up with a problem and 5 minutes later will be knocking at your door. I can always count on her, even if it includes painting a floor when the artist assistant let me down, helping me install until 6 a.m., melon balling 5 cantaloupes during my own wedding, watering my plants while I'm away, to making me pee with laughter when she announced that she lost her marbles and kept having to buy new ones. She never ceases to amaze me, and she has been a solid rock in my life. I am here today supporting more than a best friend. I am here supporting my sister. It was during my master's degree show 2.5 years ago that worlds collided. I introduced Jeremy to Kristen. I thought nothing of the encounter until a Facebook message from Jeremy the very next morning revealed a blossoming relationship. I should preface the following by stating I am a protective sibling, and as Jeremy is my brother and Kristen a now designated sister, I may have been a tad protective of them both, but luckily neither took my advice, and an innocent kiss on the neck given to Jeremy from Kristen was all it took to seal their romance. I stand here today with the unique luxury of calling my best friend a sister and my big brother my best friend, and together they will be partners for life.
Now is the time for the words of wisdom from the preacher part of the program. And I want to say first, personally, it's an honor for me to be here, to stand here with you and have a part in this oldest and most important of human rituals. In case anyone doesn't know, this was really a case of love at first sight, really from the moment they met. Or, as I'm told it would have been if you hadn't been 3 sheets to the wind. But, never mind. They met through Jeremy's sister at an after party for Natasha's degree opening show, and I can't resist a quote or two from the Facebook romance that ensued in the following days and weeks. So, just a couple. Kristen, I am with you in heart and cannot wait until our hands meet. Jeremy, to say I'm excited for our 3rd date and to hold your hand is the understatement of my life. I've been smiling at random strangers and whistling all day long. Now, anyone who knows them can sense these feelings from them, and feelings like these are enough to make you want to get married. But are they enough to make you want to stay married? And what is the secret to longevity in marriage? I don't think there is any secret. You have to be friends first. You have to like each other, maybe more than you love each other. You have to communicate openly, fiercely, and persistently, and you have to respect and support one another. Okay, so there's a secret, and I just let you all in on it. Now, you are both very creative people, and you may find that some of these requirements are more about persistence and discipline than creativity, although their fruits can be a kind of continual and creative renewal. And who's to say that the essence of creativity is not persistence and hard work anyway? There is one concrete observation that I can offer about you two that has a bearing on longevity, just as much as your Facebook romance bears on your initial smitten state. And that is, you're both artists, very serious and ambitious, pursuing different aims in that world, but artists nevertheless. And in the time that I've known you as a couple, I've been impressed by the feeling that the other's artistic interests and pursuits are at least as important as your own. And you have both expressed that the burdens of pursuing your ambitions are lightened by being in the relationship rather than heightened. And there is, and there must be, an absence of competition or comparison, just joy in one's partner's continual growth and inevitable change, and compassion for their weaknesses and foibles. And I believe this is where the longevity will come from. And on that note, let's get down to business. It's time for your vows. I now invite you to turn to each other and give each other your vows. Kristen?
I, Kristen Drumheller Schaefer, take thee, Jeremy Ernest Nicola Bailey, to be my lawful wedded husband, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer or for poor, in sickness and in health, on the internet and in real life, to love and to cherish, till death us do part. Thereto I plight thee my troth.
All right. I, Jeremy Ernest McCullough Bailey, take thee, Kristen Drumheller Schaefer, to be my lawfully wedded partner, to have and to hold until death do us part. From this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love on the internet and in real life, to love and to cherish, till death do us do part. Thereto I plight thee my troth.
May I have the rings, please? For thousands of years, lovers have exchanged rings as tokens of their vows. They are symbols of purity and eternal quality of love. They have neither beginning nor ending. They symbolize unity but not possession, joining but not constraining, encircling but not constricting. Give and receive these rings as symbols of your promises, and wear them in joyfulness and faithfulness. Kristen, will you take Jeremy's ring and place it on the fourth finger of his left hand and repeat after me? I give you this ring as a symbol of my promise.
I give you this ring as a symbol of my promise.
To always love you, cherish you, honor you, and respect you.
To always love you, cherish you, honor you, and respect you.
And now, Jeremy, will you take Kristen's ring and place it on the fourth finger of her left hand repeat after me. I give you this ring as a promise, as a symbol of my promise.
I give you this ring as my promise
To always love you, cherish you, honor you, and respect you.
to always love you, cherish you, honor you, and respect you.
And now, Jeremy and Kristen, may you fulfill in the days ahead the vows you have taken today. May you be faithful to one another and build a home filled with such love and joy that no one is a stranger there. May you be guided by wisdom to care for each other and to love life and each other in all of your days. And Kristen and Jeremy, as you have made your vows and exchanged your rings and have pledged yourself to each other in the covenant of marriage in front of all these witnesses, so by the authority vested in me by the state of Maryland and all the traditions of our society, secular and holy, I now pronounce you indeed wife and husband, husband and wife. May you go forward in long and happy lives, in love and peace, with the blessing of all those here who love you. Bride and groom, you may kiss. And you may face everyone. It is with joy that I present to you the married couple, Kristen Schaefer and Jeremy Bailey. During the recessional music, will everyone please follow them and the party to the reception.
You were wonderful. Very nice.
Where are we walking to now?
Okay. Thank you.
I'm so sorry I missed cueing the procession. Yeah.
What do I do with this?
You can turn it, you can stop it.
How?